Hi, Peggy. Well, on the side in the chat window, I put a whole bunch of resources. So I filled everybody up with resources. I started off with reaching 1 million students. And if you go there, I put my Symbaloo board with all of the AR tool. I mean, there's tons of AR tools. So hopefully people can pick the tool that will fit their needs. And you know what? I've been working with Blipar's platform.
You like it, don't you? You like it. Go ahead, admit it. You like it.
Well, I played with it before, and
it's very different now. Admit it.
It is different. It's better. So we're going to use it for our iGeek project. I have 42 students that we're going to augment their pictures.
Yep.
And I can do it all in one campaign. No ads.
Not only that, you can create other users for your campaigns, other people to.
I could if my students' emails wouldn't block third-party emails.
I was thinking about other teachers.
Well, yeah, I could do other teachers. I'm thinking that would be the platform I want to use for their augmented science fair.
Yep.
Because then I can invite the teachers but the middle school students, we block third-party emails, so the only USD 382 people can email them. Yep.
It's interesting to see how Blipper and Layer are going to converge at some point.
Yeah.
They will eventually. They'll have to. But, there's some functionality in Layer that Blipper doesn't have and vice versa. And hopefully they'll hybridize and make a super platform, which it'll be awesome if they can cherry pick the best parts of the two platforms.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I don't like about it. I can't do a 3D model yet, and yep. I did contact them, and they said that's coming, and it'll be like probably early mid 2016.
Yep, and also their HTML stuff, which is also very powerful. Which is the things that Layer took away from John Q. Public last year when they restructured their C-level employees. And I was right in the middle developing a whole bunch of stuff with that, and they pulled the plug on it. I was not a happy camper.
Well, see, that would be so perfect for our Geek projects if I had the HTML, because then I can embed their presentations right in, which is that was my very first time project I did with Layer.
Nobody knows how to say it.
Yeah, it worked beautiful, and then that went away. And
the other interesting thing is hopefully these people will change their builder creator interfaces so they work on tablets. And right now they don't.
Right.
There's too many scrollable sections to their web pages to allow them to work on tablets. So they'll fix that eventually too. So.
And I think they're working on it. I did talk with them. I did a video call with them, and it's free for educators.
Yep.
It is unlimited creations.
This is the Blipper side, right?
Right, the Blipper side. So, like Thackeray, you're limited to 25 creations, and then this is unlimited. They do have a little bit restriction on file size, like you can't put a huge video, which that makes sense.
You can if you want to host it yourself.
If you host it yourself and you're linking to it, you could. But if you're uploading it to them, you keep it short.
Yep. So, I'm actually supposed to be in the Layer webinar that happens tomorrow afternoon, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it or not. Plus, I can't ever figure out, their time. They're scheduling this from Holland, but they got Central Standard Time and Eastern Time, and it's not clear whether they understand American time zones yet because they contradict themselves with start times and things like that, and time zones. It gets kind of crazy.
Well, it looked like it was it 4 Central Time? So it was a time I couldn't go. Couldn't hop
they're
on.
telling me it's 11 Eastern Standard Time. And how about you're like 2-hour time difference from me? Are you in Mountain Time?
Oh, it's during school. No, I'm 1 hour.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It's during school, so I can't hop on. Our network wouldn't let me hop on. I don't know why I thought 4, but it was during school.
Yeah.
So I can't do it.
We'll see.
Yeah, I got that invite too. I get lots of invites. Okay. Hi, Heidi. I see that you're on. I'm sorry. I just started talking. She's
Peggy.
looking forward to trying. Peggy, he wants
Peggy.
to
Open seat. Peggy.
Yes, open seat. Heidi and Peggy. We get 2 of them. Okay. But Heidi is looking forward to trying Blipbar. That's my job this week, and to look more into creating and working with Blipbar. It's really easy. Dragging and dropping and copying and pasting and upload. I mean, it's simple. Can students create disposable emails for this? I thought of that, but I don't know how fast it will take Blipbar to create the account. So I don't know if the disposable email will work. I was going to try it, but I think it's going to be a time issue, and that the email will go away before you get a respond and getting the access to the account. But good question with that, Peggy. So if you try it and let me know it works, and I'm going to try it, and we'll see what happens. What does that mean? I'm not for sure what she was questioning. What does that mean, Heidi? Peggy says, I'm here to listen and learn and get inspired. So are we, yes. Oh, open seat. That means you can join us and talk to us. You click on the little seat thing, and I will accept you, and you can come and be on camera. But I can never get Peggy to be on camera.
Something's up with that.
So, well, I've been very, very, very busy looking at into all these augmented reality content since I'm trying to get 1 million kids to try it. So Cromville had launched, and right at the perfect time, launched a Halloween contest. So you can go in, and if you use the hashtag Cromville Halloween, and you have your kids decorating the customized character, and you share it on social media, you'll get put into a drawing to get their what is called Cromville World, where you'll get access to classroom materials and additional triggers, and then 3D printable files to print some of their characters. And they have 3 characters that if you have a 3D printer, you can print out, which I'm waiting to get the 3D printer to try this. Let's see. Oh, Peggy's looking, and I shared Nick's science book. Nick made an iBook for AR, for the AR in the science classroom, and he has resources in there. So I shared that link as well. You can download that book, and he put Dacry in there, Ogdat in there, Erasma. There's several in there, and you can go, and it's all geared towards science, but it's augmented reality for in a science classroom. Heidi says, okay. Oh, thanks, but my better half is listening to TV and will type and listen away and enjoy listening. My husband is getting ready to watch the Royals and Mets games, so our house is quite electrified with the World Series at the moment. Yes, and I'm in Kansas, and no, they're not going to lose. No. I even got my Royals shirt on. See, Kansas City Royals.
God, Will it ever stop?
This is our second time in since what, 85 or I don't know. I'm a Kansas person, so that's yet no. Toad.
That will make the Royals lose. Right
no.
There. This is from Chichen Itza.
I have one of those from Hawaii.
Really?
But he's black. He was carved out of volcanic rock.
Out of lava?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's this is Chocmo.
You can keep your mats.
Yep.
Okay, so how's your president's project going?
Pretty good. It's actually kind of done, but I'm not at that part of the curriculum that to turn it on for kids. And I did something else. You know what? I have kind of a minor victory this month. We hired a new resource room teacher. She's like I think she's 11. No, she's just fresh out of graduate school, and she's really good, and she's very technically adept. So she's been drinking this stuff that I'm doing like wildfire, and she's got about 10 or 12 pages that are augmented in her resource room now. Some of them, her students are my students, so they're kind of old hat, but she's just all over this stuff like white on rice, and it's really nice to finally have somebody who understands what I'm doing there, kind of join the bandwagon. And this will bleed out a little bit into the district, I think, because she has a lot of exposure with the other 5 sending schools. So we'll see what happens. It's nice not to be alone in the shadows for a change, though, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, I understand being alone in the shadows.
It's okay.
I was printing off what I do is I take the augmented pages and I print them off 2 sheets so that they're half the size. And we print to our copier. So I printed all those off, and a teacher goes, "What in the heck are these? Who's coloring?" And another teacher goes, "That has to be Katie, and those have to be augmented." And it's like, those are mine. So yeah, I'm in the building. They know what I do, but do they come join me?
I've learned if somebody says, "Oh, that's nice," they have no idea what you're talking about or what you're doing. It's instant dismissal. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Hey, Deb. She wants to know where the science ebook is, and I put if you scroll up in the chat, I put the link in the chat, and I've also tweeted it out, so you can go to my tweet page, my Twitter page, and get it there too. Oh, and Peggy shared it again. Awesome. Boy, it's hard to keep track of what's going on the side and then the Twitter thing on the other side.
Somebody tweeting on the other side?
Well, me.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It says ignore the Twitter thing. I can't ignore the Twitter thing because I have to answer questions.
You better, because Twitter is not going to make it.
Oh, don't say that. I like Twitter.
Their stock is in the dumper as of yesterday.
I don't pay attention to stock.
Well, okay. A few weeks you'll be able to tweet and nothing will happen.
Oh, I just lost my screen. Do you guys see me? It's all white.
No, you have a silly smile on your face and you're not moving anymore.
Am I moving now?
Yep, there you go.
That was just weird. Pegasus is not true. Everything is Blab is directly connected to Twitter.
I'll just connect to something else.
I just don't like Facebook. I tried doing a Facebook chat, a group chat, and that just does not work.
Yeah, I do not have a Facebook page.
I only do that for family. It's a very private thing.
In a few weeks, by the way, I'll be publishing a website that will showcase videos and text and iBooks about everything I've done in my school.
Awesome.
This has been a long time coming. I've got some domain issues to wrestle out and to work out with the school district, and some funding to take care of too. So It'll be interesting to see.
I can't wait to see it. So you're definitely going to have to share that with us.
Yep. Thousands of Twitter chats. No, millions of Twitter chats that are very active. Can you say MySpace?
I didn't. MySpace died.
That's my point. So follow the money, as the old saying goes. What's the score? We got a Royal score yet?
I'm looking. That's probably in my computer. Shouldn't do that. My Chromebook is great, but when I start doing video and I'm so far away from my router, it wants to freeze. So if you guys have the Royals score, you can let us know. Oh, Peggy wants to know more about your presidents.
Well, I bought, over the summer, I bought this package from our school supply store that has I guess they're about, 8 inches by 6 inch color captions of all the president's painted official presidential portraits. And they lined 2 walls in the hallway to my classroom now. And I've started the process of augmenting them on 3 different platforms. And there are 2 other grades that are going to be using them. They'll be using other platforms. And I've finished Jefferson and a few other people. There is some, if you ever go out and drag the Street View object onto Monticello, somebody has spent an awful lot of time doing 360s on Thomas Jefferson's little manse there. And there is some incredible 360 and 3-dimensional. You can walk through Monticello. Looking up and down in 360 degrees. So I've incorporated that into his portrait, for instance, and you can take a really interesting self-guided tour through not only the grounds, but the entire house of Thomas Jefferson. So this is going to take a long while. I wish there were 10 teachers working on this because it could happen in much faster. There's a lot of presidents and a lot of work to do. And also when you scan it in Daiquiri, someone starts reading the Declaration of Independence out loud too, which is a module that kids have to study in one of my social studies classes. And I think I've got 2 or 3 done and about 43 or 44 more to go. And an interesting little blank space next to Obama, wondering whose portrait is going to be there. Most of the women I talk to all loathe Hillary Clinton out here in New England. I'm not sure what's up with that, but we'll see. Right now, it's going to be, well, I don't want to get into politics. Augmented politics, we'll call it, but we'll see. So it's a lot of work, and amongst other things that are going on. And I'm just kind of randomly picking presidents right now for random reasons. I don't know. Madison was a strange-looking dude. You look at his presidential portrait, he was a weird-looking fellow. So, I don't know. Stick to the facts, right? Exactly. I do need some help, Peggy, in more ways than I'd care to admit, but that's another story.
Well, I would love to help you, but you're too far away.
I could just email you the pictures. I could email you the triggers.
You could do that. I would love to, yeah. Give me something to work on. I would love to do that.
Awesome. Let's see, we have to figure out. One of the presidents, who was a president, I forget who it was. Was it Tyler or somebody who was a president for 3.5 weeks? One of our presidents didn't fare very well. Maybe I'll send that one. That'd be interesting to do.
You could, with no information.
You could augment every day of his presidency.
That would be interesting.
It would. Anyway.
Oh, well, Peggy says that would be great. Well, Blip they're working on something, and they gave me a couple triggers, and I will be posting those in my blog. They have a volcano. I can't seem to get the volcano one to work, and the notes said that I had to use more than one device, so I'm going to try it again. I was confused with it. I think there's like a control image and then the volcano. I'm not for sure. But I could not get that one to work. They had a sunflower and it grows by day. So each day you look at it, you can see it. So it's a time-lapse kind of thing. And then they had the solar system, and that one was awesome. It was like a 360 of the solar system. You touch on the different parts, and the information popped up. So I'll be definitely working with that one.
Are these things that you can do with the native Blipper Builder? Because when Layer came out, they did all these really fancy presentations, and you couldn't do any of them with Layer Creator. They were all backroom studio developed eye candies.
This is a backroom studio because you can't do this in the Builder, or I would be doing it. It's like literally a 360, so you can move around the solar system, look up, look down, look all around, and then tap on the different parts, and more information pops up. So that's a truly engaging, augmented, and the camera. I mean, you can see the room that you're in. It's just the solar system is floating around you. Sounds
more advertising to get people to buy development services from them using their tool sets, which is interesting. But,
yeah, and I hadn't seen that one, so I was quite impressed with that one. Okay, let's see. Peggy, she posted my Blipper blog post. How is OGDAT working for you on your school servers? I can no longer access the app at school and was wondering if there was an issue in other areas as well. That was my issue at the beginning of school. Our Lightspeed is the company that we use for blocking, and they keep blocking my classroom website. They unblock it, and then like 2 hours later it's blocked again. But they had to go in and do something on the back end to have OGDAT to be accessible. I'm not in the tech department, so I'm not for sure exactly what happened or where they had to go to get it unblocked. So you definitely will have to talk to your tech people and seeing. And if you have Lightspeed, I could tell you it will block it unless you get it unblocked. Lightspeed's been very, very touchy this year. Like I said, they're blocking my website.
I think there's two sides to that too. There's the access control lists that your tech team and administrators have, and then there are the updates that the Lightspeed people are doing, and they're never in sync. And we're the poor victims of it usually, and it just seems to be changing all the time. Some things work and then they stop. Other things that didn't work suddenly do. And there just seems to be little rhyme or reason sometimes. So, every time a new app comes up and people start using it, that presents a problem. Not only that, but our school district, our state has a lot to do with the way our devices are configured. And that's another monkey wrench that gets thrown into everything. When they change something, it breaks Lightspeed and so on and so forth. So it's it's a dynamic situation, to say the least.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I really do. And it took, I want to say, almost 4 weeks before OGDAT's app was finally opened up for us to use. And then we have student blogs, and we're a Google for Education school, and all their blogs got blocked. So wow. I have to one by one request to have the blogs open, and I have 42 8th graders and 36 7th graders that all blog. So that's going to be. And then my classroom website gets blocked.
Yeah. And I hope none of my techies are listening to this broadcast, because I'm really not pointing fingers at them. It's just that there's 3 chefs in this arena, and very hard to get everybody on the same page consistently. So I'm not sure that there is this is the wild, wild west we're in, folks, and we're going to experience this kind of stuff undoubtedly. So what are you going to do?
Well,
fortunately, the tech people like what you and I are doing, Katie Ann. So we get moved to the front of the queue frequently when we have issues. At least I do, I think. So I'll keep playing that card as long as I can. So what are you going to do?
I try to play that card. Please do this now. I need it. Yep. So congrats on the 1-to-1 rollout. That would be very exciting for your students, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. Definitely can't wait to see because I know that you do really cool things with augmented reality. So I can't wait to see. You better share as what you do.
So you're rolling out now in the kind of the middle of the school year. That ought to be interesting.
Yeah. We did ours right at the beginning. Was it 2 years ago? We went 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Only middle, yeah, we're 1-to-1 iPads for 7th and 8th grade, and then 1-to-1 laptops for the high school. So, and then all the other grades share carts.
You say laptops, you're talking about Apple products or Chromebooks?
No, all Apple products. I tell them Chromebooks would be so much easier and cheaper, and this person, we'll see if we can do self. See if they come in. The other person that tried didn't connect. And they never know who's going to answer these calls. I booted one person out.
Oh, that was Adam. He's very upset about that.
Yeah, I booted Adam. I'm surprised he's not in here. I was wanting him to come on so he can tell us about his 1 million that he's doing. Bandwidth can keep your camera from working. So whoever you are, you might have a bandwidth issue. Yeah.
Poor internet signal. Oh, and he's gone just like that. However, if Peggy were to try the open seat, I'm sure her bandwidth would be just fine.
Pointing. Come join us, Peggy. Well, OGVAT is trying to reach 1 million people, and they do have a form now that you can go on their website and fill it out, and they will send you, I guess, a license for every kid and then some triggers. And as soon as I finish this lesson plan, which I was hoping to finish this weekend, they'll add those triggers to the list. And the lesson plan is for Charlotte's Web. So it'll have 3-dimensional animals and a 360 of a farm. My 360 that I made on our farm in the middle of hay. Those big, whatever, those bales of hay. I should have had him get the tractor out and put the tractor in the middle of the picture.
You hay your property?
It's our family farm, and when we go out there, it's in the middle of nowhere, and we have no cell service, no internet, we have nothing. And I'm not a farm girl.
Are these round bales or square bales?
They're big round ones.
Oh, okay.
And they, I don't know, they just sit there.
Yeah, well, they ferment. And they become nutritious by doing that.
Well, I like I said, I don't know anything about farming. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Youssef.
My from is Morocco.
Where are you calling in from, Youssef?
My from is Morocco.
Morocco.
Yes, of course.
Ah.
Are you a teacher?
No. I am. I have a diploma. Sorry, my English is not good.
It's much better than my Moroccan.
What?
It is much better than my Moroccan. Your English is much better than my Moroccan. So please keep talking.
My from is Morocco. I want to learn in English. Because my I don't know. I have a diploma, a technique, réseau informatique. It's very important for me to learn in English.
Do you have any experience with augmented reality?
Sorry?
Do you have any experience with augmented reality?
I don't know. I don't understand you.
Then, if you don't know what that is, then I'm going to say no. That's what we're talking about. Bye.
You want to catch me?
It's a big
Okay.
world.
It is a big world. Like I said, I never know who's going to hop on. Peggy.
Charlotte's Web, that makes people cry, doesn't it? That little pig.
That poor little piggy, but
Pig made me cry when I was 9. I can't stand her.
well, there was a spider that made me cry at the end. But Peggy goes, do you have a blog post about Charlotte's Web? No, not yet. Because I am still finishing the lesson plan. So I will have that out very shortly. You should be able to talk about the topic if you're going on the video. So if you do not know augmented reality in ways you want to use in education, yes, I agree. You shouldn't try to get on the video. My knowledge of Morocco is limited. You can ask people to let you know on text before they pop on as you're recording. Okay, well, enjoy and listen and learn about augmented reality. At the very top of the chat, if you scroll all the way up, I put some resources and you can go check those out. This is for education and for teachers. And I will definitely ask that in the future. So thank you, Michael, for that idea. I'm still learning Blab. How long have we been doing it? A month or so?
Yep.
Sooner.
Have you visited Hangouts since the last upgrade?
We had issues. I don't know what we did to our computer, but we couldn't get it to launch.
At home, you mean?
Yeah. So I don't know if it was the camera or I have no idea.
I miss the collaborative part of Hangouts, but I don't miss the lack of stability with it.
With the
the interface. So.
Well, Peggy says I'm doing great with Lab. I've tried. I'm working. I like that we get a bigger audience. About 26 people have popped in and out, so I kind of like that part. The only part is I'm not for sure who they are. But we're getting there. Peggy was in a bunch of Hangouts this weekend for Edu Mindset. I did not get a chance to hop on that the virtual ed camp. I wanted to, but family last weekend and family this weekend. We're visiting the university that my son's going to be attending next fall, and talking with the admissions. He's already been he got early acceptance for the College of Engineering for computer science, and so now we have to he's got to do the scholarships and the financial aid and all that jazz. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. Peggy says, we were recording, but in one very long video. If you do the hashtag for Edu Mindset, I found the video. I just hadn't watched it yet. Heidi says, thanks for sharing. Love the 1 million AR. Dog calling for walk. You better take a flashlight. We don't want you to fall. Thank you. And yeah, I may cry all weekend, so yeah, think of me. And I agree, Peggy, it does depend on bandwidth for people and on the camera. So that's why I'm not for sure if it's our camera that wouldn't allow the Hangout to launch. It is wireless and it's a huge PC, but we have like a booster on it. So I don't know. We just had issues with it this last time.
Michael's got a question for you.
Yeah. Can you tell us some fundamentals about augmented reality? Where to start?
Boeing.
Yes. Boeing is using augmented reality to train their employees, and it's augmented content. So when they scan the different triggers, they get information about the plane's wings and how to put them together and the information that they need for the building. And Boeing said that they train 33% faster and 90-some% more efficient, accurate than those that are not receiving that type of training. So it's in huge companies such as Boeing.
They were the first.
They were the first.
They augmented their engineering manuals, and to be able to see how parts went together rather than reading descriptions on what someone was supposed to do had to have been just enormous.
And it's three-dimensional stuff too.
Yep.
I would love to get my hands on one of their pages to see exactly what it was that they.
So with several other governments in the world, not ones we're too friendly with.
So
you have a DoD clearance for you, Katie.
I want to be that person saying, "Hey, this works, and here, this is what's happening in the industry." But yeah, I understand. They're not going to share that. I would love it, but they won't.
If I tell you, I must kill you.
Let's see. Other main tools. There's tools that augmented companies that already have their own triggers, and you have to use their app to access the triggers. For education, there's like Cromville that has augmented coloring pages, Quiver. Also, Dacry has their 4D Elements Cube and the body, the human body that you can scan. They also have a space one, and I can't get my hands on that trigger. The universe one that they made, it's supposed to be like a coaster size. So if I can get my hands on that, I would love to show that one off too. Then AugThat has educational triggers that have three-dimensional objects like the Golden Gate Bridge. They have what's called 360 environments, so you can get immersed in the environment, and they have a couple hundred of those environments. And then you can create your own using different platforms like Layer, Blipbar, AugThat, Erasma, which I don't suggest using, but people love it. If that's the tool that they love, go for it. And Dacry has a platform. So there's different ways to go about using and creating augmented reality. Let's see. That's true. Many of these web platforms, you don't have a good bandwidth for poor microphone setup. But yeah, that was the connection issue. This is a link to the recording 3 hours long for the Ed Camp. So if you want to go watch the virtual Ed Camp, Peggy has provided the link for that. Also, great ideas. Peggy provided the link to my blog. Are there any applications at pre-third grade level schools? Yes. Quiver, Cromville, AR flashcards. They have 3 sets. I think they're trying a 4th one, like presidents. But they have the color shapes. They have the alphabet. They have a space one. So AR flashcards, they are for little guys.
And I think you should point out to Michael that these are solutions.
Well, hang on, Michael wants to join us.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I didn't know my camera was off, but okay. Let me just continue with the audio only, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, that's fine. So you teach below 3rd grade?
Secondary school.
secondary school.
But yeah, I think it's not like in the States. Technology here is just a little bit behind.
Where is here?
Oh, Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Awesome.
So, but the thing is, I was just wondering, actually, I did actually, when you describe it, I realized that I have heard about augmented reality, but I wasn't sure what it was really. And from the way you described it, the examples of Boeing and all, and I thought, so it is something which is at a higher level, at third level, universities and college kinds of tool. Or are there uses in secondary and primary schools? Yeah.
You can design an AR experience for any educational requirement you might ever be able to think of. And it's not bound by the age or the abilities of your student. It's only bounded by your imagination or your exposure to the tools that are out there for you to use. And
so it's not, when you say you can create it, you mean like a teacher creating the tool, or maybe you are?
Yes, what KDN was describing to you were things that you could buy, like what we call off the shelf. The work has already been designed, the lesson plans are already made up, and all you need to do is implement the experience with your students. But myself and KDN and others here, we use tools that are free to use on the internet, where teachers actually design and implement their very own custom experiences using augmented reality. And to make things short and sweet, this is just a bridge between the digital world and the real world that we're allowed to use for educational purposes. And if you start looking at some of the tool sets that KDN has mentioned, or some of the other ones, you'll see what I mean by this.
So it is something, actually, I think from the example earlier, I had the impression that it is a more complex thing because of maybe the example of Boeing. I think I just thought maybe, and actually it is also maybe similar to what we might be using now. It's like maybe using animations from maybe there are some physics tools which are a little bit animated and all. So,
yeah, Michael, some of the first examples of this were a group of folks from Germany and from Holland realized that since a phone is connected to the internet and can connect to a database and has a global positioning system engine in it, they could go anywhere in the world and have their phones scan the real world. And based on where they were in the world, an internet connection could start to return augmented interfaces back to the phone again that really didn't exist in the real world. And this became a natural thing for educators and teachers, a few select few, like over here and over there a little bit, but it just became such a powerful way to implement and augment and supplement what goes on inside a classroom. I always have to say this in the presentations I make, this is not something that's easy to describe. It's much better to actually see this happening. And I don't have my iPad, and even if I did, you'd only be able to see one side of it anyway. So,
Peggy's asking me to show an example, and I'm not even near my iPad. I didn't think about bringing it down. It is best to experience it. So like Peggy is giving you, there's the resources I gave you at the top that'll take you to my blog. And I have tons of AR resources on there and some lessons that I've made that you can try out. What I tell people is augmented reality is like a pair of shoes. You're going to use the pair or the tool that's going to fit your need at the time. So depending on what you are wanting to do with your students, that's the tool that you'll choose to use. So there's several that already have pre-made things so that you don't have to make them. And they're ready to use. And then when you get to the point you want to make them, you can reach out to us, or even with the pre-made triggers, reach out to us and we'll gladly help you use them or create augmented reality depending on what you want to do.
And be careful because it's very narcotic.
It makes life very easy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very fun and very powerful, and you soon get drunk with power and creativity when you realize what you can do with it. It's
Isn't that what we want?
it is, but we're still working on spreading the news here. So, this is what classrooms are going to be like in 10 years, maybe 15 years, and we're just some of the first. We've showed up early. We haven't figured out how to be fashionably late to this party, unfortunately. So,
if you are late, the likes of our place where they haven't even installed internet infrastructure yet. I think we are so behind. We are in the caveman's time, I think.
In 50 years, everyone will have unlimited access to the internet. It's just going to take a while. So
yeah, it actually is getting faster. Yeah, I think even the less developed countries are.
We went through this with electricity. When they first started piping electricity in the world, there were big historical scrambles about, who's going to get it? Well, these people deserve to have it, but these don't. And only these type of people are going to be able to have electricity. So that will all change, too. If I keep moving my hands, there's a stupid fly around here. I've been trying to kill it for 2 days, and it's making fun of me. So I apologize.
It's okay. Well, what time is it where you're at, Michael?
Now is almost 3:30.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Or in the afternoon?
In the morning.
In the morning. Wow.
Yep.
You're up early or stayed up late?
Yeah, stayed up late.
Well, I am so glad you hopped on our chat here. So, and you said you do second
school, yeah. I do teach physics.
Physics, awesome.
Yeah. It actually,
When you say
I'm thinking,
secondary school means different things depending on where you're at. So what age groups or grade levels do you teach, Michael?
Grades, we call them 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that means, I think, the whole of high school.
That'd be high school. So
it is very important, actually. We catch up quicker before. I think, especially for the educators.
Do your students have iPads or smartphones?
I personally do, but they have no use in schools. It's just there are no projectors or something. Still, we do use the boards.
Yep. I won't say that's a deal breaker, but there are ways to get around that. But
I think I am personally just looking for those kind of ways where I can actually, without even the school's investment or something, just personally, you can make a few efforts. And I think, I'm actually looking through. There are even projectors now, very cheaper ones you can actually have.
Yeah, little ones.
Little ones, and phones are even getting. I do have the iPhone 6, the latest one. So I thought, it's a very powerful tool as well, just in terms of.
Even if you had, 3 or 4 devices in a classroom, you could find ways to make value out of them if everybody shared the devices somehow or something like that. We've had to do that in the past also.
Oh, so in terms of actually using the augmented reality thing, students would need the device itself. It's not like you would use it to demonstrate the signs or something. It is not like that, is it?
Michael, imagine having a smartphone in your hand and pointing it at a hotel on the street that you're in front of and pressing a button or an app, and all of a sudden all the available rooms in that hotel showed up on your phone screen with pictures and how much they cost to rent them. Right. Just by standing there and pointing your phone at the hotel. That's an example of the experience that is oversimplified because we're using words and language. But that's what we're talking about. Something like that. And as teachers in classrooms, we do this with the materials that we find inside our classrooms, our posters, our pictures that we make, our textbooks, whatever we need, whatever we want. So,
if you don't mind me asking, what subjects do you teach?
I teach algebra, I teach history, and I teach literacy.
So in terms of maths, maybe if you were to use a tool of augmented reality in terms of maths, for example, what would you do? Would you do algebra on
Well, I would go out and find supplemental information that I think my students are going to be benefited by and implement it into their textbook. They could hold their tablets or their smartphones to the cover of their algebra book, or maybe to the chapter heading of chapter 13 that talks about scientific notation. And I will direct them to a place on the internet or to video content or any type of digital content that I've either made myself or that I've found already out there on the internet that I think extends or supplements or augments their learning. And they'll be able to interact with that merely by pointing their device at chapter 12 in their textbook. I spend a lot of time with my algebra kids on Khan Academy, for instance, which I think is an excellent product. But I can take them where they need to go very quickly, and they're not searching through things like that. And there's just,
So the likes of Google resources, YouTube resources, or Khan Academy resources would be interacting with the tool you would be using in the augmented reality kind of tool, is it?
That's right. Or anything that I've made myself. Frequently, I will videotape myself giving a lesson, or I'll tape my voice giving instructions for a homework assignment.
And they link it in the device, the tool.
That's right. I only have to say it once, and they can listen to my instructions 1,000 times. They can put me in their backpack and take me home with them.
Wow, that sounds powerful.
It's very powerful. And, the jailer is in all of our heads. We're the ones who have to figure all this out. Katie Ann and I have been doing this you've been doing this for 4 years now, right, Katie Ann?
4 years.
Yeah.
So unfortunate we're so behind. Well, yeah, I think it's America, so we can't blame ourselves.
Just think how many people aren't listening to this broadcast tonight, Michael.
Okay.
You're ahead of the game.
Over on the side, Brian has posted some examples that he's made in Vine. So feel free to look at those. So he's done a great job with the different types of platforms and showing how they work. And quick, they're like, second videos. I mean, they're really short, sweet. So thank you, Brian, for posting those. He has like the animal cells. He has, I want to say, States of Matter, and some others that he has posted that he's made to demonstrate the use of augmented reality. So yeah, thanks a lot, Brian, for posting this. I like this part where we can save the links, because when this gets archived, those links will still stay there. And I do have a Google group community called Augmented Reality for Education, and I put the archives of the Blab videos and our Twitter chats in there, so people can go back and access those resources. So so those will stay there.
Wow, it really is. It is fascinating, actually. It really is. Even not only for maybe for the students, even for the educators themselves and teachers. When you want on a subject, when you wanted to look for some resources,
Michael, I think you're about to have a complete mental explosion when you realize what this does and how it works. It's hard to stop thinking of things to use it for. At least I have that problem, and I find myself having to refocus on things all the time. It's mind-boggling.
As it is, I find even the internet itself is mind-boggling, because sometimes I just look for resources and then I get stumbled into maybe some big university like Harvard kind of resources, which were just from maybe a very renowned and very smart kind of professor explaining something, even for us, explaining something more clearly and nicely. As it is, the internet by itself, I find it fascinating. And finding a tool which would interact you better is unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good and all right.
I'm glad you came, because I'm sitting here fantasizing where the first global conference on augmented reality and education is going to take place. Maybe Budapest or Marrakesh, or perhaps, I don't know. What do you
Somewhere
think?
in India, maybe, yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. Maybe Fiji.
Wow.
I always wanted to go to Fiji.
We better get our passports updated.
Mine's good. I'm ready to go.
Mine's not. Mine expired. Well,
Wow.
are there any
That's
other
crazy.
questions? I posted the link to our group. So feel free
Okay.
to join the group and connect with teachers and follow me on Twitter. I'm usually
I'll do.
just a shout away, and I try to help and reply as quickly as possible.
I will do, and I will go through all the links as well. I think, I have a good job in the coming weeks.
Hmm.
And if you have questions, feel free to reach out anytime. I know there's a time difference, but when I wake up and I get your message, I will reply as quickly as I can.
He appears to.
I have changed my sleeping times just because of.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
we get addicted to following
people seem to
people
pop in
and-
at this time. Yeah,
What
Yeah.
part of Ethiopia are you in, Michael?
the capital city, Addis Ababa.
I bet it's pretty.
Oh, what? Pretty. It is pretty. I think it is. Yeah, city is a city, but the rest of the rural area is very pretty. I think it's good. Maybe that would be maybe unlike to what you might be hearing about Ethiopia. It looks like, I think most people I meet who are from outside, they have the impression that it is what is a dry, deserty kind of place, but it is very, very green. It is. You would be surprised, especially maybe down from the middle to the south. It's a very green place, and the northern part is a hill and also a bit dry kind of place. It's a very beautiful place. Yeah, Ethiopia is beautiful. I think, even for us who live in there. All right.
Katie Ann is in Kansas, and she's trying to get back to the World Series on television. Not sure if you know about the World Series. And I'm calling from Maine, the state of Maine in the United States.
Maine.
Yes.
That's a place I haven't heard. What state would be close to Maine?
Maine is the very upper right-hand corner of the United States. It's one of the New England states. It's connected to New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And we're famous for lobsters and Republicans, I think. Something like that. I don't know.
Lobsters and Republicans.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have wheat fields and cows and wind farms.
Steakhouses.
Oh, wind farms as well.
Steakhouses.
Well, not where I'm at, but yeah, in Kansas City area, yeah, there's steakhouses.
Steakhouses, as in places where a cafes kind of thing where they sell steaks, is it?
Like KC strips, yeah, big steaks, T-bones, ribeyes.
Oh, right.
There you go.
Well, thank you all for joining us. And if you ever have any questions or need any help with augmented reality, feel free to reach us anytime. And I've got to go because my family's calling for me. So feel free to contact us anytime, seriously.
I think a lot of people would have loved to hear, but the title of your blab was just Let's Talk. It wasn't described as augmented reality thing, is it?
Well, AR stands for augmented reality.
I didn't know. All right, okay.
Maybe I need to change that for next time and spell out augmented reality.
Okay. Now I will follow you. I'm following you already, I think now. I just
Awesome.
said it. I'm following your post.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
I'm going to call it a night, and hopefully the Mets will go home sad tomorrow.
That's probably why they're calling you, because the Royals are swatting the ball all over the place.
So I will see everybody later. Have a good night.
99.
Thank you.